Hey, my inky crafty friends, it's Haley Dyer, the Inky Scrapper, coming to you live Thursday, April 16th, 2026. I'm so excited to be with you. I have some sneak peeks to share with you and of course some current product because it's April and we do have a new catalog launching in May, June, July, August. We're going to 3 catalogs a month. Let me try to straighten this up just a little bit. Hopefully I'm turning this the right way. I never get this quite right at the start, but I think it works out okay. Alrighty, so not only do we, I don't know, maybe, is that crooked? I'm not sure. This whole thing looks crooked. I think I turned it the wrong way. Let me try again. The bad thing is there's a delay. So let me try again. Okay, that looks worse. Okay, this is looking better. Let me try one more time. Sorry, I don't want to make anybody seasick. And I certainly don't want to show off my messy desk because it is always pretty messy. I firmly believe that creative minds are rarely tidy. So tonight I'm planning to do 2 live videos because I'm going to show you 2 sneak peeks. Or maybe a little more, definitely 2. And so the first one I'm going to show tonight is the Silly Old Bear collection. This is an online exclusive. And let me tell you, I'm learning with Stampin' Up! That the online exclusives are limited. Like they're meant to be there for a short time. That's why they're not in the catalog. So if you love it, grab it. Because if you don't grab it, it might get sold out. If it doesn't get sold out, if you're willing to wait, it might go on last chance. It might be at a discount later on. So it's a risk, it's a gamble you're gonna take. But let me show you. I did not stamp this yet, but first in the Silly Old Bear suite is the Sweet Old Friends, and yes, it is a classic Winnie the Pooh set. These are the stamped images. Our daughter's nursery was Classic Pooh because apparently, I mean, I didn't even realize it when I selected that, but Mom was like, well, of course it is because my nursery was also Winnie the Pooh. This is only available in the United States because of copyright issues elsewhere, but this is the Sweet Old Friends stamp set, and it does include die cuts. And I went ahead and made a copy, let me fold this back, of the die cuts. I always do this. I lay them on my little scanner copier printer thing, and so you can see the outlines. Look at Piglet and Pooh Bear. So gonna just be like, I guess full transparency or whatever, a little bit vulnerable, but Ansley is Pooh Bear and Macy is Piglet, and they have been all their lives. So this is really sentimental for me. And I'm thinking about hosting a stamp camp with this because I get that this suite isn't for everybody, but I'm super excited about it. I'm not sure what that is. I'm going to have to learn what that is. There's a honey pot with some honey. If I turn it the other way, you can see that's the honey dripping out of the pot. Looks like a stump. There's a beehive. Anyway, I cannot wait to play with this. I have not had time yet, but that is the Sweet Old Friends stamp set and dies. Also in this collection is another stamp set and dies called the Sweet Words and Labels. So this is the stamp set. It has the best kind of days are the days spent together. Oh bother. I will love you until forever, and even after that. You deserve a little treat. Sometimes when you go looking for happiness, happiness finds you. It never hurts to keep looking up, and old friends are the best friends. And these 2 beautiful frames, because the die cuts for this are these incredible, beautiful nested frames with some leaves and, of course, some acorns. We all know that starts with the letter H, not the letter A, if you're a Winnie the Pooh fan like me. In addition, whoops, let me set those out of the way. I cannot wait to create with this. So much. And my girls are in their 20s, so we've been out of the nursery for a really long time. But there's also an embossing folder, 100 Acre Woods 3D embossing folder. I didn't realize how big it was, so I cut a 6x6 piece of Old Olive two-tones cardstock. I've run it through my embossing machine and I have not opened it yet. And so here we go. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Look at the cracks. I love the compass here. Oh, this is so sweet. Look at the little characters. I don't like the deboss side as much. I didn't expect to. Again, this is Old Olive two-tone cardstock. Let me kind of move it in the light so that hopefully you can see the details. And again, I think I'm going to offer a stamp camp with this because it might not appeal to as many people, but again, we'll see, because it'll also be featured in one of my classes in like probably May or June, because everybody needs baby cards every now and then. And then the last thing from that collection is the Silly Old Bear 12x12 DSP pack. The colors are Barely Blush, which is a new in color, Basic Black, Cajun Craze, Cherry Cobbler, Crumb Cake, Early Espresso, Golden Glow, which is also a new in color, Hydrangea Hue, another new in color, Mossy Meadow, Old Olive, Pecan Pie, Timid Tiger, which is a current in color, and Very Vanilla. These sleeves are not by Stampin' Up. If you want to know more about them, let me know. They're an Amazon purchase, but it helps me really keep all this organized. So I put this on top so I could tell you all the things. And here's the first page. I did go ahead and sort these front and back. So I'm gonna hold them up close where you can see all those adorable characters. I'm guessing that the die cuts work with this one. I don't know that for sure yet, because again, I haven't played around with it. But look at Pooh Bear and Piglet. That reminds me of the die, so I think so. And this beautiful Hydrangea Hue cloud paper. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I feel like I'm losing my voice a little bit. Here is the next Silly Old Bear DSP. And it has the Barely Blush. Well, it's not gingham or plaid. I don't know. What do you call that? Help me out with that one, please. And then here are basically 4x6 and 3x4 and 6x4 cards that would make great card fronts or elements on scrapbook pages with this sweet Hydrangea Hue silhouettes. I love this so much because you could die cut all of these with the dies from this collection. So you'll notice those frames, they match the dies. I'm going to start quoting Winnie the Pooh here. And the back has this lovely Mossy Meadow, Very Vanilla stripe. This page reminds me of the Autumn Toile. It's similar but different. And then look at that silly old bear climbing in some of the trees, going for the honey and the little honeybees. And there's some birds. And the back of that is the 100 Acre Woods map. And finally, we have this piece that has some of their names. I love that Eeyore is E-O-R, and Piglet and Rabbit. Owl is a W-O-L. And this is the back. Let me hold that up close so you can see that pattern. Golden Glow, I think Early Espresso on Very Vanilla. So some of the in colors, Timid Tiger. I can't wait to create with this. So I hope that you love it as much as I do. And now I'm going to show you, let me gather things from, I have it on the floor, the April product of the month. Let me dig through here. Whoops. Yikes, I just dropped that. Sorry, this is a little Shy Shamrock ink. I have my Forever Florals stamp set, lots of pieces here. So let me get a little better organized. I apologize for that. Okay. here is the Eyelet Blooms die. It's the April product of the month. With a $75 purchase this month, or any month, it unlocks the product of the month. You can get the current product of the month for $5 or any of the past products of the month if they're still available. So this one is the Eyelet Blooms die. And here's the die. I hope you can see how detailed that is. I took a 4 by 5 1/4 piece of white, basic white cardstock, and I ran it through my die cutting machine, and then I ran it back again because of how intricate this is. I am very grateful for my take your pick tool with the die cut, with the sharp pointy end and the die cut brush end. So I was able to poke out lots of holes. But what I didn't do that I want to do is push up some of these little flower petals. Not going to be able to do all of them, of course, but I want to do at least some of them to kind of just flick them, fold them forward a little bit. It's a little bit harder on the edge, but this is so pretty. So I have a vision of this, and maybe should have planned ahead a little bit better, because I know watching me poke this is not very exciting. Feel free, if you're watching on replay especially, actually give me a little shout out if you're watching on replay, #replay. This is a great time where you can speed it up, because I know this gets a little boring. There's also a stylus end, which might be a better tip to use. Actually, let me try that really quickly. It'll be this end. So all of these come out. There's a locking end and then like a screw in end, and my little stylus here is a screw in. Nope, it's a locking one. See, what do I know? There we go. Anyway, that way I'm not gonna make, ooh, that works a lot better. Yay. I'm not gonna poke anything, but I'm just pushing those petals from the back to give it more dimension, because I'm going to mount this piece onto a Shy Shamrock layer, and I want to be able to see that Shy Shamrock in the background. I can almost run this around the edge, but anyway, like I said, I die cut this piece. I ran it through my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine basically twice, forward and backwards, because of how intricate it is. I use my pokey tool to poke out all those little pieces, so I've got a little mess on the floor, but my vacuum will clean that right up. So, again, if you're watching on replay, please fast forward. I know this is boring, but it's going to give it such a good look that I don't want to skip this step. Hey Nancy, I'm so glad you're joining me. Thank you. I feel like I'm just kind of rambling to myself, so I'm so glad you're here. Like I was saying, this part's a little bit boring, but I didn't want to do everything ahead of time, because I think it's really important to see how this die works. It is a little time consuming, but it wasn't bad. I found that popping out the little bitty pieces did not take me that long. I did use my take your pick tool, the little pointy end. Hopefully I'm saying the right thing with that. If I'm not, please correct me, somebody, because yeah, I'm not so good with names, people's names or product names. That gets snagged a little bit. And it's really cool how the paper feels after it's been run through this. There's so much texture to it. You're gonna love this if you haven't gotten yours yet. I want to know what you think. Ooh, got it snagged. Okay, almost done. Ooh, that didn't take terribly long. And like I said, the effect is totally worth it. Again, I'm working from the back side, And so when I turn it over, those petals are going to be raised. You can always spend a little more time. Like I missed that one completely. You can spend a little bit more time on some of them if you want to. It's really pretty without this added step, but I do think this adds a whole lot, especially because of the layering we're going to do. Okay. And I realized, oh, see, none of that really showed through. You can also kind of flick them up with your fingers, possibly. That one's not cooperating. Okay, let me set that to the side. I realized I did not score my card base, so I'm gonna grab this amazing paper trimmer. I've had several over my 25 plus years as a paper crafter, and I'll be honest, the Stampin' Up! One is my favorite. Did not expect that, but it's true. So I got that nice score. And so I picked Shy Shamrock because I love green. I'm gonna stick my arm in the camera so you can see that I've got some green on my shirt today. I'm almost out of Stampin' Seal, so I have a backup in case it decides to give out on me today. This panel is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, I think. It's 1/8 of an inch less than the card base. This panel measures 4 by 5 1/4. Look how pretty that is with the pops of the green behind it. So I am going to use my liquid glue and make sure to really tack down the edges right here. I'm trying to get, like I said, the edges with some of my liquid glue. I'm not as worried about the center, but I will just kind of do that so that there's some glue and hold that center in place. The way this cut, I like that more solid edge across the top. Very much an eyelet. So I know I popped a lot of those out, and then smushing it down, I'm kind of closing them back up. Oops. So I'm gonna pop up some of them with just my fingernail, because I love Shy Shamrock. I'm sad that it is going away soon, so I wanted to be sure to use it. You could spend a lot of time or a little time popping. Oh, goodness gracious, it stuck to my finger and came completely off the card. Well, that could have been an epic fail, but it's not going to be. Like I said, I'm going to push those edges down, scrub some of that off of my hand. Why that is sticking to my surface, and come back through and pick up some of those. So pretty. I love that. Okay, so I did grab my Forever Florals stamp set. I went ahead and cut a piece of Shy Shamrock from the Easter paper. The name eludes me right now, but I had several of that. And I'm going to choose the Thinking of You stamp set because, hey, if I'm sending this to you, I'm thinking of you. I'm going to pull that off. This is maybe not quite big enough, but I'm going to make it work. So I pre-cut these pieces from the Nested Essentials dies. I have my Shy Shamrock ink spot. That was from a paper pumpkin. I don't even remember which one now. So tap, 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 tap. Just kind of walk it around to get good coverage. And then, sorry for the top of my head. Give it a good press, kind of walk around. And voila, Thinking of You. I did pre-cut this mat of the next larger die. That does cover a lot. It's really pretty this way, but I do think I'm gonna like this band across here. I love that foil from that paper. So pretty. Well, at least I think it's pretty, so I hope you do too. Completely stuck to my finger. I'll trim that excess off when I'm done. There we go. There's the end of that. And we're about to break the video, as in cut, and go to a second video tonight. So that'll work out just fine. Have that little thinking of you. And I'm not sure if I have any gemstones that match. Let me look. How do I feel? Those are a little bit too dark. Alright, that's alright. It doesn't have to have any, although you know I love me some gemstones. So let's do a little of these rhinestones, the clear rhinestones. 1 and 2. And there we go. Oops. Thinking of you. So again, that is the April product of the month, the Eyelet Blooms dies, available for $5 with a $75 purchase. I'm going to cut this video, so I'm going to stop, but then I'm going to come back because I have another card that I want to make with you tonight. I guess I'm on a roll. I don't know, and maybe I'm overachieving, but that's all right. So thank you for joining me live or on replay, and I'll be back in a minute with something else, a sneak peek at the Scenic Coast and another card idea. So thanks so much for joining me. I hope that you get inky soon. And as always, if this inspired you, I hope you'll leave a comment and share your artwork. Thanks, y'all. Take care. Bye.